And welcome back to Meeting of the Minds. I'm Gene Zanetti, your coast-to-coast mindset coach from Wrestling Mindset. Excited to be with you here tonight. Tonight we got Jon Egan from Roger Williams. So we're excited to have him on board. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. Make sure if you haven't yet, make sure you text message Mindset1 to 84576. Right now, we have 2,700 people all across the country, so almost 3,000 people on board getting our daily motivation text message. So if you want that, a nice little shot in the arm every day to get you fired up and ready to go, make sure you do it. So text Mindset1 to 84576 for a daily motivation blast. A lot of people have been having some real good success with it lately, saying that they were gonna not get their workout in. They got the shot in the arm, they got the motivation blast, and they went on their way working out. That's what it's there for. And you know, all of us need to be motivated. Dan Gable spoke about this regularly. He said that you have to do a lot of things to stay motivated. So we want to help you during this time. It helps us. Okay, let's bring in Coach. All right. Jon,
what's going on?
Welcome to Meeting of the Minds. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine.
Good.
Yeah, so what's been going on? What's been going on with you, the team?
Man, so I started this thing. It's pretty brutal. I got to get rid of it, but I've committed.
Sick beard.
I've committed to it until this is over. But, you know, these times are trying, and I've really tried personally as a coach, as a father, as a husband, to make this the most positive time in my life. You know, find the positive in everything. We've had a lot of great family time together. It's a time to kind of reflect on what we've been through and appreciate what you have. Like, we all get to wrestle every day, and we're really fortunate to be able to do that. And I hope the kids on our team and out there, you know, are appreciating that now and at least figuring out like, oh man, I got to go to practice. This sucks. Well, it's not that bad. You miss it, right?
Right.
So what we've been doing is we're doing weekly Zoom meetings with the team, and I always have a special secret guest on every call. So we've had some really, really cool people out there. I've had Nathan Tomasello talk to my team. I had Jason Nolf. I had Gwiz. I had Jay Jaggers talk to my team. Nashawn Garrett talk to my team. And this has been every week for 5-6 straight weeks that we've had these really super high-level guys talking to our team. And it's just been a way to kind of keep everyone connected, motivated, and kind of, I don't know, just hear a new story, right?
Nice. Yeah, what do they talk about?
So basically, I always say to them, like, we all know your accolades, guys. I don't need to hear when you started wrestling, how cool it was, and all the success you've had. I want to hear about the bad times that you've had because, you know, we're in a bad time right now. You know, tell me the dark moments and, you know, and tell me about when you blew out your knee. Tell me about when you got beat in the national semis and you were the 1 seed and that, you know, and then you had to come back an hour later and wrestle. And that's the kind of cool stuff that I like to ask about. Also, tell me about team culture, right? Like, tell me what the worst kid on your team, what he's doing every day, and how do we keep that kid motivated? So it's been pretty cool to get all these guys in with the team. It's awesome.
Yeah. So what do they usually say? Are there any common themes of when times are tough, what they're telling themselves that maybe separates them from other wrestlers?
Yeah. Every one of these dudes has a very different journey, a very different goal in life, very different plans. But, I mean, the short time that we spend with them every week, I do notice that all of them have in common is that they are extremely focused on the goal, and nothing gets in their way. There are hiccups along the way, and that's okay. But they have dedicated everything in their life, and they've put a lot of belief in their training, and it's going to get them to the end line one way or the other.
Do they ever doubt themselves? Like, maybe I can't do this?
You know,
and how did they push through it?
It seems like they're pushing through it. Like, no one's really been like, I've almost quit, or this sucked and I didn't believe in myself. It's okay. It's okay. I'll get through this.
No, I mean these high level guys that you're bringing in. That's what they always felt.
Yeah. You know, of course there's doubts, right? Of course, like Nathan Tomasello has had some injuries that he went through, and he's had to totally change his training from can't really run a lot because I guess he's had some really bad knee issues, and he's swimming a lot now. So it's just it stinks. I blew my knee out. How do I use what's around me to kind of change and get better?
Right, right. So what should athletes be doing right now to get better?
What should athletes be doing? That's a great question. There's a lot of things that these guys can do to stay in shape. You can go for runs. You can do 1,000 push-ups a day. You can do pull-ups. There's a lot kids can do. You can, well, I don't know if you want to, but you go swimming. It's freezing, but you can. You can study the sport.
That might be part of the mental toughness. But go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying. Yeah.
You can watch video. You can learn. You can watch technique. There's nothing stopping you. I mean, maybe you can't wrestle with someone else right now, but it's okay. It's only been 6 weeks. It's okay. We'll get through it. It's not 6 months.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. What are some of your philosophies as a coach, things that you've taken with you as an athlete and now you're conveying them to your athletes?
So some things that I've taken with me. So I never got into this game to coach. I graduated from college. I was a finance major. I got my master's in finance, and I was a stockbroker for 6 years after I graduated. So to me, all I really push on my kids, and they'll all tell you, I think there's a few of them in here right now, is academics. This truly has to be a journey to the end line of what you want to do for the rest of your life. What are you passionate about? Very few of us can get jobs in wrestling. So this just has to be something that opens the door for us to get a job in life and do something that you love and make some money. And that's really the biggest thing that I preach to my kids. And the wrestling takes care of itself. Everybody's good. Everybody wants to be good. It's fun. We put them through practice like anybody else does and teach them. But you're at this school or any school because you're passionate about what you're studying, really.
Absolutely. We say that all the time, too. I couldn't agree more that, yes, of course, train your butt off, be a national champ, whatever it is, like go after your goals all out. But wrestling is going to open doors to get you into a good college, to set you up for a good job, as long as, again, you're being proactive in that career approach. But that's what you want to do. You want to use wrestling as a vehicle to improve you in life. Set yourself up for success. Wrestling eventually ends. I know we don't like thinking about it, but you want to make sure you're setting yourself up academically for your career and bring the aggressiveness you had on the mat into the classrooms and into life.
Well, that's it, man. That's it. That passion, that drive and motivation. It just, no other sport can match it, really.
Is this one of your athletes here saying big academics guy, honest like a hawk,
Ben Bariso? He's a Jersey guy. I think you are too, right?
Holla. Yep. Well, I'm New York. I'm in the Corona capital right now, but yes,
no.
I'm a Jersey guy.
Yep, he was an academic All-American this year. He's a good kid.
Well, academic All-American.
Good boy.
Very good. Excellent. So he says you're on him. What are some of the things you do with the team to keep them on board? Academics. Said you're a big academics guy.
Yeah, so as soon as kids move in, we're doing study halls. I would imagine most other schools are doing the same thing. I take their cell phones as soon as they walk into study hall. You just shut your mouth and do homework for an hour and a half or so. Once a week I do that. Then on top of that, all the freshmen got to go to the tutoring center for me 5 hours a week. They got to sit down with a tutor, or they got to sit down with a group and do work, or just by themselves and do work. And so we're basically on them their entire freshman year doing those two things. And then every 4 or 5 weeks I do progress reports with the guys. So I'm in communication with all their professors. And I went to Roger Williams as well. So I know all the professors. It's pretty easy for me to get in touch with these guys and stay on top of the kids. So it's nonstop, but it's good. It's what they need right now.
Yeah. Talk about that that follow-up, that progress report that you did with them. What's that about? What kind of questions do you ask?
It's basically, are you going to class? What type of grades are you getting? Are you participating in class? What's coming up next? How many absences do you have? All that good stuff. And then I'll follow up with the professors. If it's anything short of, B material, I'll follow up with the kids and the professors and just be like, hey, what's going on with Ben Bariso? Why isn't he going to class? Like, why does he have 6 absences? Why is he on his phone all class? And, and then I send those all home to mom and dad. So there's just a lot of constant communication to make sure everybody's on the same page with these guys.
Absolutely. That's great. Another thing to possibly add to there is where they're sitting in the class. Not to make it tougher on you guys. I know coach is already coming down on you, but he's doing it because he loves you and he cares about you. If he didn't give a crap, that's when you should worry. But they call it the T. sitting in the T. So either sitting in the front or in the middle, because apparently if you're in the middle, you're still absorbing the information. But if you're in the U, which stands for unattentive, it's really inattentive, but let's say unattentive, the U that's in the back, that's not where you're supposed to be. The T stands for attentive, the U unattentive.
I mean, if you think about it, it's the same thing as practice, right? Where are you
Right.
practicing with your partner? Are you in front and center, or are you in the back corner with your buddy doing God knows what, just hiding out, you know?
That's right. Kluger says he's in the front of the class always. Is that your
Kevin
guy?
Luker.
Luker.
Yep, he's another one of ours guys. A good dude. Colorado
Awesome.
boy.
There we go. Nice. Nice. Oh, it's awesome to see so many of your athletes jumping on. That's great. It says something that, during this time, everyone's coming together. There's that brotherhood, that fraternity that they feel, that part of the team. That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. What's the atmosphere like over there with your athletes normally outside of this whole Corona thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate. So, again, I went to Roger Williams. I know everybody here. So I know all the professors. I know the custodians. I know the people working in the cafeteria. And, I always tell my kids, especially the freshmen when I come in, it's like, you guys, you can't embarrass me. I'm not just like the wrestling coach. This is my life. Like, my family eats in the cafeteria. I know these custodians, like they're buddies of mine. So, don't be jerks. Don't like leave food out everywhere. Don't be swearing when you're, walking to class. You got to represent yourself everywhere you go. You're a wrestler, whether you like it or not. And, that's kind of the atmosphere I want. It's a big family. I walk into the cafeteria. Every kid on the team is sitting together having lunch or dinner, and it's awesome. I mean, it's just, I'm so fortunate to be with these guys. I love them so much.
That's awesome. What separates your school from other school, and what kind of kids should be looking to come? What kind of student athletes, young men, that should be looking to come over there?
Well, I don't know if you've just visually seen our place. It's surrounded like 90% by water. So we're on a peninsula. So we're totally surrounded by the ocean, which is awesome. And we have a lot of unique majors. I think that, we get a lot of high level wrestlers because a lot of kids from Jersey and New York come up here. They want to study construction management. Architecture is another big one that just not a lot of schools have those majors and wrestling. So it's a pretty cool opportunity for a bunch of these guys to come up here, study something they're truly passionate about, and, be on a pretty darn good wrestling team.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what do you think, what's the biggest transition from them going high school to college that you've seen? What are some of the biggest maybe mental mistakes they make coming in? What are your thoughts with that?
Biggest mistakes from high school to college. No more mommy and daddy, right? So I think it's tough for kids to just find their rhythm, find who they are. Am I going to be the kid that can wake up at 7 a.m. and go to class and be attentive and just be able to study all day? Or do I need to sleep in till 11 o'clock, go to class, play video games for 3 hours and just go to, stay up till 2 a.m.? That's the biggest thing. You got to find out who you are, and hopefully it's the first, and you're a responsible young man and your parents have raised you to be a good person and get to class and do the things you got to do. But it's tough. It's tough. I think it takes all freshmen about a semester to figure that out. And then they're either going one way or the other. The other on the mat, I think the hardest thing for kids is, and I always say it's the hand fighting on the mat. That's really tough. Defending single legs is super tough because if you're really good in high school, nobody's touched your legs in probably 2 years. So it's, that's the kind of stuff on the mat that I think is really tough. And then mentally on the mat, it's everybody's good. Everybody's good in college, right? Like you're in the first round of this freaking tournament in the middle of Pennsylvania on November 1st. And like some kid's taking you down 3 times and you were a state champ last year. And it's like, you got to be ready to go in the round of 32, right? It's everybody's good. Everybody's good. And you just got to be ready for war, every single match.
Yeah, that's great. So what are a little like crash course of what they could do to get ready for college right now during this time between now and September? What would you tell them to do to be maximally prepared? What should they be telling themselves mentally? How do they get themselves on the ball with their time management? Maybe it's going to bed a little bit earlier, like incrementally. What would you say there?
So I would say, take wrestling out of it. Just how to grow up. Geez, get a job. Don't rely on mom and dad to wake you up. Do your own laundry. Make your own food for once. And just try doing that for a week straight, right? And if you could do that, you'll be fine. You're successful. one of our alumni, this little kid, Nick Barbaria, he's a graphic design kid. He's the most responsible kid I've ever met in my life. And I knew it the day I met him when he was 16 years old. He's a New Rochelle, New York boy, but he comes back and he talks to our team once in a while. And he always says, if you're going to put your damn name on something, it better be, it's your name, no matter what it is. If you're going to walk into the cafeteria, how you clean up your area after, that's your name, right? And if you're going to wrestle a match in the round of 16 consolations in the middle of Pennsylvania where nobody's watching, like, that's still you, dude. Like, don't think nobody's watching. That's you. If you're going to hand in a paper, right, if it's just a 4-sentence paper for your professor, it's you. It's your name, dude. Everything you do it's your reputation. It's your name. And if you live your lifestyle like that, you'll be awesome.
That's right. That's a great point. This is one of your wrestlers?
Yeah, one of our alumni, Nick Barbaria. He's a great kid. I hope he's watching.
Awesome. Yeah, no, hey, we've had a tremendous participation that I'm seeing on here. A lot of athletes that are reaching out, that are jumping on the call. So, like I said, that's a great thing. So, how do we get more? Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're up. Fine.
I was just going to ask, how do we get more people to your social media pages, website? Where do people find more?
Yeah, so you can check out our Facebook page is RW Wrestling. That's pretty simple. I think our Instagram page is exactly the same, RW_wrestling. Check it out. Just Google the school, check out the majors. And, I always tell kids, you got to go to a place that makes sense for you. Don't go to the place with the coolest coach or the prettiest girls walking around, right? Like, you got to go to the place that has the major you want, that you're passionate about. And, if you hate the ocean, well, you can't come here. It doesn't make sense. We're on the ocean. So I always tell kids, find the place that makes sense for you. Take wrestling totally out of it. That should just be a bonus on top of it all, right?
Yes, that's a big thing. And a lot of athletes don't understand that wrestling has to be the icing on the cake, not the cake. That's a hard thing for someone who's training to be a state champion to honestly see that. But I think that and then I'd love to hear your comments on it, but if you look at wrestling as icing on the cake, yet you are training as hard as you can, you don't have the same kind of pressure on you. You're free to wrestle. You're free to wrestle without care, and you wind up doing better anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It should be fun. Think about your why and why you started this game when you were 5 years old and you got on a mat or your dad put you on a mat. It's because it was fun and you wanted to be freaking Yokozuna from the WWF, right? That's why.
Who wanted to be Yokozuna? They wanted to be Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior.
Whatever. It's think about your why and why you do this. It's not because it's a lot of pressure and you're scared to take a shot with 10 seconds left. This is fun. I love blasting through kids and taking them down and getting my hand raised and do whatever you got to do to get those, right?
That's it. No, it's absolutely true. And you're right. Like, we have that creativity a lot of times when we're younger, and we lose that. And it's important to keep that creativity, to keep the fun. The superheroes, the WWE wrestlers, it's like when we tell our athletes to help them be more aggressive, that when you go out on the mat, if you're not so confident, have an alter ego. So when you step out on the mat, it's not some kind of like weird voodoo thing, nothing like that. But like, you're like, okay, when I get out there, I'm morph into this personality. Like, use your creativity. Normally we use our creativity for why we could mess up, why we could make mistakes, all the wrong things. Start using your creativity to help you.
Absolutely. And just focus on you. Too many kids get focused on like, well, that kid's better than me. He's the 2 seed and I'm the 7 seed. Who cares, right? Like, you've worked hard. You've had fun through this. You've got up early. You've done the grind. Like, go do you out there, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Oh, great stuff. Anything else you want to share with the listeners?
Oh man, this is my time.
I'll give you something. Whether it's the school, whether it's what they could be doing now, whatever. Positivity, staying motivated at this time, how we won't get this time back, anything.
Yeah, I would say again. Look at that. Is that a wrestler?
What do we have here?
Class of '99. That's awesome.
Here we go.
I would say again, you got to follow your passion. For me, it was finance, it was real estate. I have a lot of things in my life going on that are totally outside of wrestling. And that's my passion, right? Like, wrestling's another one, but you got to find, all you kids out there, find what you love to do every day or what you can see yourself doing the rest of your life. I have too many friends of mine that oh, I'm going to be an accountant because I think that makes $100,000 a year and that's a cool job. And no, and they hate it. It sucks. Like they don't want to sit in a cubicle. So find what you love to do and then find a major that kind of matches with it and in a place that you're happy. And that's the biggest advice I would give any kid.
That's awesome stuff. Coach, we covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate
Awesome,
it.
no problem.
We want all the wrestlers on here, all the coaches on here, even if you're not affiliated with wrestling. That's it. Check them out. Go to their social media pages. Roger Williams, they're doing things right academically and athletically, using wrestling as a vehicle to build virtue and skills in life. Thank you very much, Coach.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right. Take care.